So, like I was saying, that it is not an immediate emotional response. The creation of poetry or poetic expression, according to Wordsworth, is not an immediate response to an emotional trigger, which is the result of witnessing something unique, which is ordinary because we ignore it all the time, but nonetheless getting those eyes to celebrate the ordinary. But rather, poetry is that expression which happens as a result of emotions blending with thoughts, emotions being modified by thoughts and memories, and the result of an intimate interaction between thoughts and feelings, that is conscious and unconscious elements, right? That results in beautiful poetry. And here on the slide, you might want to pay attention to these visuals. This is a scene from The Solitary Reaper. This is Tintern Abbey, on which Wordsworth has written his a lovely poem, and these are daffodils, the daffodils by the lake, right? So these, it is scenes like these that inspired the poet, that might not have appealed to classical writers of the classical age or the neoclassical age, because they would always look for wars and tragedies and heroic feats and a plot to kind of or a storyline to weave into or to embed in a poem. Now here we have a complete departure from poetic tradition, from the poetic tradition or the poetic customs that had been followed hitherto. We have a poet in Wordsworth who is a radical, who is a non-conformist. He does not agree with the ways of his predecessors, and he says, no, I can write simply. There is a story in everything around us. And you just need to have that instinct and those eyes, and you need to activate your five senses to to absorb whatever is around you, to absorb nature's beauty, and also to absorb what you would normally dismiss as commonplace. So if we look at say his poem on Westminster Bridge, it is a bridge which is right in the heart of the city, and probably people who work in the city or who live in the city are so busy throughout the day that they don't even uh, consider the existence of the bridge, forget the beauty. Now Wordsworth writes about the bridge, and he puts it in a temporal space where people have not woken up yet. The city is in deep slumber, the sun is just rising, and it's the first rays of the sun which are falling on the bridge, and the bridge looks so beautiful, the city looks so beautiful. So it wouldn't have occurred to people before Wordsworth that such topics could become the subject of great poetry. And that is how, with Wordsworth, we usher in a new era in English literature where the ordinary, the commonplace, and everyday life is celebrated like never before. So it is actually poetry for the commoners, poetry for the rustics, poetry for the villagers. The whole premise is based on the dismissal of poetry and art and literature just for an elite few or just for a select group of people. So that is where Wordsworth's greatness comes in.